सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सदाशिव समारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वंदे गुरु परंपरां। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। Welcome to this 40th week of Vision of Vedanta. We are into verse 38. Yesterday we completed up to verse 37 about the qualities of Brahman. From today onwards, Bhagavan Sri Adisankaracharya will explain about how to meditate, the process of meditation. How do we prepare ourselves, the body and mind, for meditation on the Supreme? And how to meditate. With what thought shall we sit in meditation? Vivikta desha asino virago vijitendriyah bhavayedekamatmanam tamanantam ananyadhihi. Vivikta desha. Sit in a quiet, separate place. Why quiet place? Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna talks about Vivikta Desha Asina, sitting in a separate place. Vivikta, something that is separate from others, means a quiet, alone place. Desha Asinaha, sitting down. And what bhava, what state of mind? Viragaha, without any attachments to objects, people, emotion, places, things. Free of all that. Vijitendriyaha, Vijita Indriyaha, with all the sense organs conquered, which means the eye does not want to see something of its own, the ear does not want to hear, the nose does not want to smell something, the tongue does not want to taste something, the skin does not want some particular feeling, the mouth does not want to talk something, the hands does not want to do something, do not want to do something, the legs do not want to go somewhere. Everything is controlled by the mind. Vijita indriyaha bhavayet ekam atmanam. In this state, bhavayet means contemplate about. Bhavana is feeling. We cannot get the feeling of Atman, but we can contemplate about the presence of the Atman everywhere, in all things. Atmanam means I, that Brahman, the Supreme. What is it? Tam Anantam. That Atma is Anantam. It is not in one particular place. It is everywhere. And how do we contemplate about it? Ananya Dhihi. Ananya means no other thought in my mind. Dhihi is the intellect. Intellect is that thought pattern, that thought of the logical thinking, but rested in the heart is intellect. Logical thinking, not attached to the five sense organs and looking out into the world. Logical thinking, which rests down to the feeling that we experience, is dhi or the buddhi. Ananya buddhi is no other feeling is there except that experience of the Brahman, Ananya Dhihi. Dhi also means attention. Wherever our attention goes, energy flows. Yadrishi bhavana yasya siddhir bhavati tadrishi. Whatever bhavana we have, that thought we get to experience. The 39th verse, Atmanyevakhilam drishyam pravilapya dhiya sudhihi bhavayet ekamatmanam nirmalakashavat sadam. Atmani eva akhilam drishyam pravilapya. Whatever is seen outside, seen, heard, tasted, smelled, touched, felt, thought about, experienced, is all drishyam. It exists to give information to us. The objects of our drishya, of our experience, pravilapya, fold it inside, bring it inside and put it into the Atman, which means, yes, sun. I saw the sun. Not beautiful sun, how beautiful, come and see the sun, not calling somebody else, not getting excited about it, not saying the sun is very friendly to me, it is giving me darshan. Nothing, no thought other than sun. I saw the thought, I put that thought inside in the self. The self saw the sun. Atmani pravilapya. Prakarshena vilapya. How? Dhiya. By the intellect, by the bhavana, by the feeling, I see everything, I experience everything, and I put it within. Who should do it? Sudhihi, the one with a good intellect, the one with a very cultivated intellect, the one whose intellect is not splitting, not analyzing, not dancing, not excited, not exhilarated. No. With this kind of an intellect, bhavayet ekam atmanam. Meditate upon that one Atman, the self, nirmala akashavat sada. Like that pure sky. Just imagine the pure sky everywhere. In the same way, there is a pure sky of consciousness within. Nirmala akashavat sada. At all times, like as if that pure sky of bright sky is there within me. Meditate in this manner. That is the Atman consciousness. 40th verse. Rupavarnadikam sarvam vikaya paramarthavitam paripurnachidanandaha swarupenavadishthate. Rupa varna adikam, all different forms, different colors. In this very room on the screen, you're seeing so many forms. You're seeing so many colors, right? Light brown, dark brown, black, orange, blue, glorious goldish, golden light, the purple colors, the orange, white, and green, the blue in the chakra between. So many colors we are seeing. Varna, Rupa, many forms also we see. Sarvam Vihaya, drop all those different forms and colors. Who does that? Normal person will get engaged with those forms and colors. But who will drop all the forms and colors? Paramarthavita, the one who knows the Supreme. Paripurna Chidanandaha. Then give up all the other things. Meditate on the Chit Ananda, that consciousness, the blissful self, which is Paripurna, complete in all manners. There is nothing, there is no shortage, there is no excess, there is no likes, there is no dislikes, there is only Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Paripurna Chit Anandaha. That is my Swarupa. That is my essence. When I talk to somebody, it is the Atman talking to the Atman. When somebody is saying something to me, somebody may be shouting at me, but cut out all the sounds, cut out all the noises. The words have meaning. Atman is giving some meaning to this Atman present here, which is not in fact two. They are only one. It is one space talking to the other. In quantum physics, that is what they have discovered finally now. Quanta is coming one geographical space communicating to another geographical space. We are all geographical spaces. In the geographical space of oneness, we appear different, and what is happening is one apparent geographical space is communicating to the other geographical space. I am here in apparent geographical space, which is communicating to millions of geographical spaces which are viewing YouTube from different parts of the world. Swarupena avatishtati. So we are all that same geographical space of consciousness, of awareness. Verse 41. ज्ञात्रज्ञानज्ञेयभेदः परेणात्मनि विद्यते चिदानन्दैकरूपत्वात् दीप्यते स्वयमेव हि ज्ञातृ ज्ञान ज्ञेय भेदः. Jnatra means the knower, jnana means the knowing, jnaya means the known object. Vedaha pare na atmani vidyate. This is not in that Atman which is in that Supreme. This Atman, the self, the I, which is in the Supreme. This difference is not known. What is not known? Jnatra, the knower. Jnana, the knowing. Jnaya, the known. The knower, the I here, the known, which is that Supreme Brahman everywhere, and the knowing. Everything is in the ocean. If the ocean is appearing as a wave, and that wave is the jnata, jnatra, and the wave is knowing the ocean which is the known. Where can there be any difference between the wave and the knowing of the wave and the ocean which is known? It is not possible. In the same way, jnatra, jnana, jneya bhedaha pare na atmani vidyate. In that Atman, which is in the Supreme, which is not even a different part of the Supreme, which is the Supreme. How far is the wave from the ocean? How different is the wave from the ocean? In the same way, that difference is there in the Atman and the Supreme Consciousness. Why is it the same? Chit Ananda Ekarupatvat. It is one, it is conscious, and it is blissful. Just imagine an ocean of light. That ocean of light is Paramatman. In that ocean of light, you and I are a wave of light. A wave that may be big, a wave that may be small. We are all waves of light in that ocean of consciousness. Deepyate, this I is shining swayameva, by itself. Swayameva hi. Evamatmaranau dhyanam mathane satatam krute udita vagatir jwalam sarvajnanindhanam dahet. In the Kaivalya Upanishad, there is a very beautiful verse. Atmanam aranim kritvam Pranavam Chottaranim Jnana Nirmatana Bhyasat Pasham Dahati Panditaha Atmana. In that Supreme Self, it is the lower arani. In those days, we have no matchsticks to light fire. In those days, there were no matchsticks. They used to light fire with something called flint stones. The flint stone, one like the, what is it called? We have the grinding yantra in those days made of stone. One stone will be like Shivalinga, and there will be a big stone with a hole inside. So in that, the lower base stone is called the arani, lower arani, and that bigger stone on top will be the upper arani. And when in the time when they want to do a havan or a yajna, they will put cotton fibers around, and then everybody will churn the upper arani in the base of the lower arani stick. And then when they churn, when they go on churning, fire sparks will come. When the fire sparks come, they light up the cotton, they put that cotton or whatever dried leaves or everything and put the twigs, and they create the fire for the havan. In the same way, we use that process for churning with the awareness to realize to create that, to realize the fire of that Brahman within. The wave of light called Brahman is generated within in this process. Evamatmarano dhyanam mathane satatam krute udita vagatir jwala sarvajnanendhanam dahet. In this manner, evam atma aranav, in that lower arani called I, consciousness, dhyana mathane, we meditate. When we meditate, the mind which has been going outside, seeking this and that in the world of objects, quietens down and prolapses within the intellect. And the intellect is just the sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna, standing like a steady wave in the Atman. When everything becomes steady, the intellect also collapses into the Atman. Mathane satatam krute. In this process, at all times, when we meditate, at that time, the intellect is very powerful. The mind is very powerful. It collapses within. The intellect also collapses within. And then what happens? When this power is generated within, udita avagatir jwala, there is a fire of understanding. Oh my God, this is that self which I was searching at all times. This is that self which I was trying to experience without in the world of objects, emotions, and thoughts. As a perceiver, feeler, and thinker, I was searching outside. That self is within. It is a wave of light, a wave of bliss, a wave of life, a wave of happiness, a wave of joy comes inside. Udita avagatir jwala. And what does that wave do? Sarva ajnana indhanam dahet. There are lots of bits and pieces of fuel of vasanas or ignorances. The causal ignorance is, I don't know who I am. That causal ignorance has engaged in so many actions in this world over many lifetimes and created so many impressions that are generating further and further actions. This light of awareness which rises within burns up all that. It is a fire. It is a fire that burns up all the vasanas. Vasanas are different thought forms which are all in the form of seeds. It burns up all the seeds. Dahet. It just simply burns them up. Nothing more needs to be said. And then what happens? Once this starts rising in us, it just continues to rise gush forth from that individual. Arune naiva bodhena purva santamase hrite tata avirbhavedatma swayamevamshumaneva. When this little spark of wisdom starts coming within us, it is an Aruna. Aruna is the morning sun, early morning sun, maybe at 5:30, 5:45. It just gathers up into some light orange shade in the sky. And then around 6 o'clock, if you go to the beach, you can see the orange colored sun coming up from the waters. Arune naiva bodhena. This knowledge that is just very subtle. Wow, I'm getting to experience that self. Whatever that self is, I'm able to experience it. That feeling comes. That is the Aruna, the morning sun. Then what does that Aruna do? That Aruna destroys all the darkness of the night. The night is slowly beginning to disappear with the coming out of that Aruna, the early morning orange colored sun. And then what happens? Tata avir bhavet atma. Then the Aruna turns it into that bright and glorious golden colored sun. Atma. Swayameva amshamaniva. That Aruna becomes a sun. The Aruna does not go from the scene and the sun comes from the ocean. No. The Aruna only becomes the sun. This is the Surya Bhagavan temple. In the chariot where Surya Bhagavan is sitting, in front of him is Aruna. He's called Anurusarataye Namaha. He's the charioteer of Surya Bhagavan. He does not have two legs. There's a story because of his mother, Vinata, who did not wait for the egg to hatch. And she broke open the egg. And Aruna came out without two legs. And then later on, Aruna cursed his mother and says, with whomever you are jealous about and you broke this egg, about that person you will be a slave. And anyway, when the mother prayed to him, he said, my brother will come and you wait for the egg to hatch for the period of time, my brother will come and save you. And then Garuda was born, and Garuda went and released Vinata from slavery from Kadru, her co-wife. So this Aruna was then offered to the Devas as the charioteer of the sun. In the story in the Mahabharata, we have the story and also Puranas. But this Aruna is actually, symbolically, Aruna represents our Buddhi. The Buddhi composed of three gunas only. Sattva guna, Rajo guna and Tamo guna. And the Buddhi drives the chariot of the senses, which are horses. The horses are the mind, expressing through the sense organs of 5 sense organs, the mind and intellect are all tuned in the hands of Sattva guna, Rajo guna and Tamo guna, the charioteer Aruna. And who is sitting in the chariot is the Atman, the I. So this Bhagavan, once Aruna starts guiding the chariot of the mind and courses beautifully, then Surya Bhagavan is shining there because there is nothing else to stop the chariot. And once the chariot is in tune to the master of the chariot, everything is there. It is serving the master to where he wants to go. And where would Surya Bhagavan go? He would travel in himself, as himself, by himself at all times. Tataha avirbhaved atma. At the time when we contemplate like this, with the Aruna of knowledge, when it starts rising, then the Surya of the self will manifest. Swayameva Amshamaniva, by himself, like the sun. I was just planning to complete up to this verse. Let us see the 44th verse. Maybe we will see tomorrow. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma kasyid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om asatoma sadgamaya tamasorma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Satgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Har Namah Parvati Pataye. Har Har Mahadeva. Hari Om.